All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the shadows in here. Um, so naturally, the shadows on the bottom are pretty obvious. Usually, most of our light source is going to be coming from above us. So here we're going to just come across, put a little shadow on the bottom of each brick, and then we do need to make sure that we break for that that mortar line. So it's not a line all the way across; it's a dash. We want to leave that um, that mortar line without a shadow on it. And once again, I've screwed up the birthday cake rule, and I'm working near myself first. But um, so your shadow again should be a thinner, glazier, sort of black, and you want your shadow to go onto part of the mortar. It's really hard to see with what I've got going on here. I'm not sure that the technology is going to do us any favors in this regard, but um, because there's that bottom curled edge of the brick that is shadowed, and then there's also the cast shadow, the shadow uh, that the brick where the brick is blocking the light that would otherwise fall on the mortar. So you want to get, I would say, about a third of the mortar um, should be covered in some kind of a shadow. So by no means all of it, but some. And then once you get all your horizontal uh, shadows in, then you're going to go back and do your vertical shadows. And again, we're talking about um, the sun coming over the artist's left shoulder. So we're gonna go with that convention again. And so if the sun is coming over my left shoulder, in this case, I'm not sure, like I said before, how your screen is turning things around or the camera. But for me, that means that the sun is coming from this corner and it's coming down this way across the piece. And so if the sun is hitting this corner of the brick, that means the shadow's on the bottom and on this side. So when I go in to do this one, I'm going to run it. I want to make sure that I can get some of that shadow onto my mortar, and I'm going to run it down that side. I'm not going to move my ruler in between. I'm going to get all of this side at once. All of that line all the way down. And I'm going to make sure that I'm joining up in my corner, even if I have to touch it up a little bit. You really want that corner to meet. So you got a nice shadow, and you also want to make sure that your mortar does not get interrupted by that shadow, because those are the things that really give this away, or conversely make it particularly good. So I'm gonna leave that there, and then the next step will be highlight. It's the opposite, except that your highlight is going to be only on the brick, so it's going to be a little thinner, a little finer lined. You don't reflect a highlight onto the mortar, but then that's going to be our final step. So I'm going to stop this and then let you guys get your shadows in, and then we'll come back and do highlight.